Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 31st of January. We've just celebrated Chinese New Year and I've got a day off. So my wife said, let's go out for dinner. I said, no, let's make a G-Shock watch a video. Thanks for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the G-Shock Watcher channel. Thank you so much for coming by today. I really want to share a note of appreciation to everybody who is a subscriber, who views the videos, who watches, who comments. We're well on our way to being able to take this to a point of monetization where basically I can go to my day job and say, I don't need this job anymore. I can go out there and create videos on YouTube and I can live a luxurious lifestyle. I would like to sincerely show my appreciation for my current employer and the work and the opportunity they've given me, and I would like to demonstrate that I'm completely committed to my job for now and for the future of my entire working life. Thank you very much. But serious, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to get excited about this month in the G-Shock space. We're just kind of getting close to the end of January. I guess today is the last day of January. And there's lots of news that has actually been coming out. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and even I've missed some of the things that are going on in terms of the G-Shock world. So let's jump into some of those different announcements. And big call out to G Central. I love their website. They always provide really great insights, and I'm going to tap on their knowledge to talk about some of these updates today. So let's jump in and have a look at some of the new releases that are coming from the G-Shock space. So first off, of course, well, not of course, I guess, is this release of the G-Steel Fine Metallic series. So really leaning into some of the high-end experiences for the G-Shock watches. And we saw this previously with the report that G-Shock or Casio announced around G-Shock and really trying to push up into the higher tier pricing bands. And I'm guessing what we're seeing here with this particular watch is a push into higher level expenditure for watches, I guess you would kind of sort of say, instead of really going for that bit more of a bling factor. So what we're seeing here is a materialization of that. So you can sort of see these gold and silver watches, you know, metal bezel design incorporating tough silicon bands. So if we have a look here, we've got some digital watches here. So we've got a silver and a gold one, a negative display and a positive display, and then we also have a octagon shapes. It's like a GAB or GM2100. It's right there on the screen, I guess. GM2100 shape and a GM2100. So a black and a gold. Sorry, a silver and a gold one. I guess it's the negative display, which throws me every single time. So both of these GM2100s have negative displays, which I always feel affects the readability of these particular watches. But there obviously is a market for these particular watches because they keep making them. So people are obviously buying them, and people aren't voting against these particular watches. So they have these particular watches available. And what we can actually see here is a big focus on pushing this sort of bling bling factor, if I guess you'd sort of say, the silver and the gold versions of the watches. I don't know if they've really got any terms of capabilities in terms of tough solar. If we go have a look, let's go down. Long life batteries are what they're calling out for these particular watches. Let's go back and have a look at the GMs. The GM2100, I don't expect to have a tough solar either. It's probably got a battery as well. Let's have a look at the watch features. Okay, maybe it's a basic information, power supply. Okay, 3 years of battery life. So it's essentially we're looking at battery powered watches for these particular releases, and what they're going for is that gold and silver form factor. So it will appeal to a certain set of people, I guess. Not really me, but there are people who want to buy it, and this might be some of the early releases that G-Shock's actually pushing for to try and get up into that price band to help them with their recovery plan, which we talked about earlier on. But, maybe it sounds like I'm being negative on the first sort of story, but I think there's lots of really interesting watches that are coming. So let's have a look at some of the other areas that we see coming through. This one is an interesting one. This is a basic black edition GD010 and a GA010. And okay, I'm going to say it straight from the start. Negative display, which I'm not such a big fan of, but I don't mind the look of some of these watches. Let me show you what I kind of like. This is a totally cool large case G-Shock in black with a 10-year battery. So 10-year battery is actually pretty good. That's a long time in terms of a need for a battery replacement. So, maybe we can balance off the tough solar versus having a 10-year battery. That's not too bad. If we go have a look, there's two main watches. There's the GD010-1A1. And then there's the GA0101A1. So GA and a GD. I actually am really interested in this particular GD. Like, this to me looks like a combination of like a G-Shock King watch and sort of a digital watch. And it's not necessarily a small watch by the looks of things either. Like, it's a fairly solid looking watch. And even though it is sporting a negative display, perhaps the size is going to make that a bit more legible. It'll be a bit more readable because it looks like it's a fairly bold looking watch. It's got that look of a King, like it's got that sort of shape which has a big bold sort of sides to it, but with a very digital interface which is sort of fixed into a round. Like the King has it segmented, but this seems to be more encapsulated somehow. I'm not too sure how to articulate it, but it's an interesting looking watch, this GD010-1A1. It almost seems to have, now this is interesting, especially because I'm actually wearing it right now, and I just sort of looked, if I look at this design here, this graphic, right, you can sort of see the segmented areas for the actual watch. If I were to go and show you the watch I'm wearing right now, right, and look at this wide face and guard bumper, shock resistant, new rugged basic front button guard. Okay, this doesn't have a front button guard, but what I'm wearing is that Gravity Master. I can't get that into focus. Maybe I can try that with the overhead camera here. Let's have a look. It wasn't ready to go, but let's just have a look here. Right, so this is the Gravity Master watch, and if you look at that design compared to what we have on the screen there, it's not dissimilar. So maybe what we're sort of seeing here is the design that was incorporated into the Gravity Master is being incorporated into this particular watch here. What we're seeing here is this new design for this GD010. So that's kind of interesting. Like, that's an interesting looking watch. And it's only $139, so it's not too expensive. So obviously at $139, we're not necessarily looking at a tough solar watch, but a 10-year battery is not a bad sort of a thing. Let's just go back and have a look. There's some interesting designs here which have been around obviously for a while. It's not something I've gone ahead and actually looked at, but it's not a bad looking watch. If we have a look at some of the ones here, this is the one with the positive display. This is a fairly legible kind of watch. I guess this new all black series is really about the fashion. So might be something that we need to go ahead and actually have a closer look at and see how this watch sort of feels. Like I've been wanting to go back and buy another King G-Shock, but maybe this is the one to go ahead and actually try and see how it feels from a comfort point of view as well. So interesting kind of watch. Following from that, there's a lot of talk about this particular watch, and this is the recreation of the DW 5000 series. So, you've sort of seen these watches before. If we go down here, it's the DW 5000 series, right? So it's a very classic looking G-Shock watch, right? This is one of the very much the original ones. Casio, water resistance 20 bars, all those different things. And look, I will tell you, it's great to be able to see some of these classic G-Shock watches coming back and Casio sort of focusing on bringing them back to the market. But what's really interesting to me is, do you want to go ahead and actually spend the money on this sort of a watch? Right now, this particular watch, I don't know what the actual costs will actually be. Like, there's no sort of indication on what it is right now. If I look at the website, it doesn't give me an actual number. But here's what's interesting. If I go through and have a look at a website like Walmart, Walmart has a GWM 5610, which is a very similar watch, but it also has tough solar, has multi-band 6. This is a fairly rugged sort of watch, and it's going for $103 right now, saving $50 US. If we go over to Shockbase, and I've just gone ahead and actually closed that window off. Let's go back and have a look here. So Shockbase, and let's take that model and have a look. So there we go. This is the GW M5610-1. This model is going for $140. Walmart's offering this for $100, and it's very similar to what's being released here from Casio as a DW 5600. Now, if they're banking on the fact that they're going to go for some sort of historical experience with these particular watches, I'm not sure I would go ahead and actually spend the money on this recreation of the watch when I could go to somewhere like a Walmart or maybe a secondhand website or even a current website and buy the same version of the watch in multi-band 6 with tough solar. It's a hard sell to me to be able to say, go for the recreation, which is a lithium battery versus a tough solar watch. Maybe the imagery, the screen looks a little bit bluer versus more of a grey, but I don't know. It's not something which I would sort of compellingly go and say, don't buy the multi-band 6, don't buy the tough solar, buy the one with the battery. It doesn't seem right to me. So just watch this one. If you're really interested in buying the classic version of the watch, wait to go and have a look at the secondhand market, or go have a look at Walmart or different places and see if you can get something at a better price as well. So just watch out for those particular ones. Now, a couple of other ones I want to quickly go ahead and actually talk about before I rant way too much. This is super cool. I kind of like this one. This is not a G-Shock watch exactly, but it's a Casio watch, the Casio AE 1600. Again, the 10-year battery. I kind of feel like these 10-year batteries are coming up a little bit more regularly. This is very, very cool. This particular watch, hugely legible. I mean, look at this watch. This thing's massive, 100 meter water resistance, very, very big display. And the cost here is around about $29. $29 for this particular watch. I mean, okay, it's not a G-Shock watch, but it's a Casio watch, and they are good watches. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're not talking Rolexes. We're not talking about all the other ones. I walk past the shops and they're super, super expensive. I like to have some fun with my watches. I like to try different things. But this is interesting. This is a Casio watch, available for pre-ordering on February 1st, which is tomorrow. But we've got these. So this is interesting. Amazon.com has the upcoming Casio AE 1600, which is this one, available for pre-ordering with a February 1st release date, but with an inexplicably high price of $77.94 for each model. Okay. In comparison, Casio Singapore is each model listed as coming soon for $55, around $40. A very similar AE 1500 has a list price of $29.95 per model in the US. So, obviously, some of the pricing is completely out of whack on this particular watch. So, I mean, let's have a look if I can work this out. So I have to try and look at underneath my microphone here. Casio Singapore. Let's switch over and have a look here. Casio Singapore. There's some of those new watches, iconic G-Shock watches. Watches. They're not G-Shocks. Let's check under new arrivals and see what we can find here. Yeah, hard to find. We'll have to sort of look at what's actually coming out. But, you know, they've got these launch models, these watches. They look kind of cool. Very legible watches, no doubt at all. Like, you look at this watch, it's very, very clear in terms of what you can actually see. So it'll be interesting to see what the price actually is. It doesn't necessarily have a highly resilient sort of watch, I guess. Like, it doesn't have that that look of the watch, which is, you know, got the G-Shock capability built into it. So I would assume, no, it should be fairly resilient. I'm looking at some of the websites here to see what we can actually find, but I can't get an actual price for it yet. So it's something we're going to have to go ahead and actually monitor and watch and see what's actually coming on. But let's check out some other watches which are kind of interesting. Here's one for people who love Barbie. There is a Barbie G-Shock watch, and something which, funnily enough, is not something I've been looking for. But a Barbie G-Shock watch, maybe it's something my daughter might like. She's 14, so she might not be into Barbie, but let's be honest, it's a pretty cool looking watch. Very pink on pink with the Barbie logo. The Barbie logo on the actual resin band itself, Barbie on the catch, and Barbie on the backplate. Like, they have not messed around as it relates to a particular watch. This is kind of cute, right? A Barbie watch for G-Shock. So that's a cool watch as well to go ahead and actually look at. This is another interesting one. You might have remembered me talking about the G-Steel watches for G-Shock, especially with the Year of the Snake coming in, and there was a specific G-Steel watch for G-Shock. Casio is releasing a watch which looks very similar to the G-Steel. It's a nice looking watch. Actually, the black on red, or red on black one, not bad. I do like these other colors though. The yellow and blue, very nice looking watch. The orange on green, very cool watch as well. Like, I will say sometimes the color combinations that Casio has done versus what G-Shock has done is very interesting. Like, that orange on green is not a bad looking watch. You know, you can actually see the resin band, which is a green, the orange on there as well. Nice particular watch. If we go through and have a look at prices, this is a US website, $69, $70 for a very nice looking watch. And fair point, doesn't have tough solar, doesn't sort of play the full G-Shock point of view, but I would say that some of the technology in here makes this a fairly resilient sort of watch, and they all look pretty decent for $70. Not a bad sort of purchase at all from that point of view. So very, very cool. The last one This is actually really interesting. And so I spent a lot of my time in China, and this is really interesting. G-Shock China teased an upcoming watch, potentially the GAV-01 or the GA-V01. And not much to sort of show, but it is a watch which is very different to what we've seen in the past. And essentially, this looks like it could be a watch which is new. Now, of course, a lot of the videos on China, there will be things which are kind of very animated. You know, you can sort of see us here in the actual video. But it does seem like there might be a new shape of G-Shock watch coming soon. So, you know, this particular video is sort of showcasing that. And there's been videos that have talked about it. Mr. eBay here, he talked about new shapes in terms of watches that are coming through. Weibo has sort of taken some of that stuff as well. So I really hope that there's actually a new watch that's actually coming, a new design of the actual watch itself. And this is where it gets really exciting, where we start to see new design of G-Shock watches actually coming out. So this is kind of cool from that point of view. So something to watch for, this GA. If we go back here, what's it called? The GAV-01 or the GA-V01. It could be a new watch. It could be something in the virtual space. I'm hoping it's a new watch, because that would be very, very cool. Last two things to go ahead and actually talk about. This I thought was really nice. These are the GA010CE-2A and the GD-01CE-5 10-year battery watches with Cordura Recore bands. So instead of the resin band, I'm seeing the fabric bands. But I kind of like this particular one. Now, interesting enough, if we compare this particular watch and go back to this particular watch, you start to see the comparisons between the two. Let's bring this all the way over. It's obviously taking the GD-010 and looking at this one, which is so it's GD010 as well. Same design of the actual watch itself, but literally using this new band to be able to actually use the particular watch. Like, this one's nice, okay, sure, but I like this particular one. This watch is a very cool, very legible one. So maybe, as I sort of said, I'd like to be able to go ahead and actually test out this watch for $139. Maybe the idea is to go ahead and actually try this particular watch because it kind of looks a little bit nicer with the fabric band and the colorization. Not a bad looking watch from that point of view. And then finally, these last watches are really cute. These are the G-Shock watches, which feature Mount Fuji and the very traditional Japanese wave. Not necessarily super feature complete in terms of tough solar and all these different things, but very, very nice watches, all the same, with some beautiful backgrounds on them. Nice backplates as well. Very, very cool looking watches from G-Shock to celebrate some of the Japanese culture and heritage from that point of view. So, wow, like there's a lot going on in the G-Shock space, and it kind of feels like the company has come out punching to really go ahead and actually do the recovery. So I'm super excited about some of these watches that are coming through. I do have my own sort of watches that are coming over shortly. So there was the Love the Sea and Earth digital watch, which is coming, which I'm really, really excited about. My friend is over in Japan, picking it up from his sister. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Very, very exciting about that. Lots of interesting momentum on the Barbie website. We'll have to go ahead and actually do another one of the videos there. But wow, I just really get excited about G-Shock and some of the things that are actually going on, particularly some of these interesting watches where there's a combination of legibility, of new materials being utilized. This is a sort of innovation we want to go ahead and actually see. I know I'm a big fan of tough solar, but a 10-year battery is a very cool thing. So Lots of excitement. I hope you're as excited as I am. But look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you've gotten this far, I can appreciate you are a passionate G-Shock person as well. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share, whatever you can do. I really appreciate it. But thank you so much for being here with me today, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.